just your voice.
8 years. We just ignore the fact that the people outside cannot hear the questions. Why do we do that, by the way?
Rich,
Why we don't give?
have a mic.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you can have one. I'll just be close enough.
No.
There to go.
I don't. You don't need a mic. I can hear you.
Hi again.
Hi.
You've described this Liverpool team as a Liverpool 2.0. How different is this side to the one that went to the Etihad and lost 4-1 season?
I don't know even the lineup from last season, and not because I don't want to know it. I just don't think like this, and I don't want to compare and stuff like this. We had to improve from last season. It's clear. I actually think without any kind of changes, we would have improved from last season because the last season was just not good enough for ourselves and these kind of things. But we had to make changes as well, and we did that. And I'm not sure I've described the team as 2.0. I think we described rather the project or the things we have to do as we need to create Liverpool 2.0 because we had a very successful team and super team and super boys, super characters, but time is running. We all get older and stuff like this, and we cannot be. We will never be successful because we were successful, and that's what we have to had to. We no, not to understand. We knew it, but what we had to do, and that's what we did. And yeah, so far it looks like we brought in good players and all that, and now we have to make sure that we bring that consistently on the pitch, and. Saturday is a big one, no doubt about that. It's the strongest team in the world for the last years, and so that's a massive task for each football team in the world, for us as well. But we will give it a try anyway.
City won 23 games in a row.
So we shall not drive. And my record, our record is not great, right? That's the next thing you will tell me probably.
Well, I was going to ask, how much is this about maybe stopping them playing, and how much is it about allowing your team to express themselves?
What I know, the longer a run is going, the more likely it is that it ends. So we had that as well. I'm not sure it was Burnley, I think. Yeah. So there's always this. It took much longer, by the way, but so they are extremely strong, and it's nothing what I can say what makes them weaker. To be honest, otherwise I would say it constantly, repeat it. But there's nothing. It's a tough game, but. Yeah, whatever happens last year, what happened 2 years ago, 3 years ago, is just a memory. It's nothing else. So we have to be ready for tomorrow. And that's what we try to be. And if we are that's what I said millions of times. If we can be really uncomfortable for them, then we have a chance. If they feel comfortable in their game, there's no team who can beat them. But if we can change that, then there's a chance, and we have to take it then on top of that because that's not given then as well. But I like it. It's much nicer. I'm pretty sure. So I can't remember my feelings last year before the game, but I probably was not massively optimistic and thought, okay, let's go there and we change everything there now in that game. It feels like we are a bit closer. It's good. But on match day, you still have to win the decisive battles on the pitch. And that's for that, you need to be close enough to these decisive duels. And for that, you have to be compact. And then on top of that, you have to play football yourself a lot. And that's all challenging, but all exciting as well. And yeah, let's see.
And finally, Darwin Nunez scored 3 goals for Uruguay international break. How much is his game under Bielsa as well now? How much has his game developed, and is it such that he'd be ready to potentially get involved on Saturday?
I saw not that we have 12 different players, but for that position, so they all came back pretty much from international. So we have to make these decisions, and and for that these decisions I have to wait until at 3 is the meeting, at 4 is training. So yeah, until then, look in their eyes, talk to them, blah blah blah, and then figure out who is ready to start and who is probably better to bring on. But yes, they all, I would say, nearly all had a really good international break. So Colombia was really successful. Lucho scored twice, and Uruguay obviously did really well. So we have to see. But yes, he's in a good moment, and we want to use him as often as possible. But if it's possible, I don't know in this moment.
Hi, Jürgen. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are some very big rivalries in the Premier League, but has this now become the biggest game in the Premier League?
I'm not sure if that's the same thing we are talking about. So the rivalry, I don't know. I have to ask other people. For us, from a sports point of view, it was the most difficult game you can play since years. Since I'm here, probably. So, but the rivalry probably is you need longer, or blah blah blah. The fans decide that and these kind of things. But from a football point of view, we needed some time to become a rival on the pitch. But then we were that and lost still games, and they lost against us and stuff like the big things. Champions League quarterfinal, I think was it. So big games. From football point of view, definitely yes.
Mo Salah, I think, has got 11 goals against City for Liverpool. He's closing in on 200 goals for the club as well. Can he still improve, or are we seeing right now his absolute peak as a player?
Of course, he can improve, but that's all about then consistency and little moments in games. It would be a shame if he's not 43. So and we ask for that. I mean, he expects it from him. Why would he come and be the first in the building, then every morning and the last going out if he doesn't want to improve? And yeah, of course he can, but it's not. It's really not about that. So and it's about he gained that experience over the years that he knows much more about the game. So where are the positions? Where is that? He's obviously a completely different player to the boy who arrived here, and he was good that time. That's why we signed him. But now that the experience in dealing with different situations is a completely different animal, actually. So he is really good with his teammates, like with all the offensive players. They all looked up to him, but he's really supportive to them, and that's a really good connection. So, and that's something in the beginning Mo had to be more for himself, to find his feet himself and find a way to impress me, to impress everybody, to prove everybody wrong, maybe, and stuff like this. That's now completely settled, and having still this desire to score, that makes him the player he is. And that's pretty special. And I've said it that probably a million times. Long may it continue.
Seems to have a really good understanding with Darwin.
Yeah.
Is that because of what we do out there on the training field, or is there kind of a natural?
These players, you cannot become a Liverpool player if you're not really football smart. So that means they are really football smart. And what would you do if you are on the ball and you sprint with 900 miles per hour down the line, and then you find and you think who could have same speed and is there in the right position? It's probably more. So the other players are quick as well, but that's why Darwin and Mo, that's where it's clicking. That's where they look for each other and stuff like this. But it's not that they cut out the other boys. It's just a different way of play. So that's like when we played with Bobby's more centrally, but a bit deeper. But then I'm not exactly sure what the numbers are between Sadio and Mo, but they probably were pretty good as well, because they were the first two arriving in the opposition box. So if you want to pass the ball, then it's probably to one of them, and that's it. But generally, from the beginning, and that's what I said before, how Mo supports the boys is Darwin came here, big expectations, and Mo understood the situation probably the best, and saw his potential, and wanted to help him. And that's how, without having the longest conversations because of some language issues, that for sure was the start for a pretty special partnership.
Mike?
Yeah, again, it's the top two in the table. Again, I mean, quite often these games have been fabulous adverts for Premier League football. But given what happened last season for both clubs, and the major overhaul that you had to make to your team during the summer, what do you think have been the key factors that have enabled you to just 1 point separate you with just almost a third of the season gone?
What we did to get the points that I can tell you what City now exactly did to have not already 36 points, what they had in the past as well after 12 match days. I don't know 100%, but point here, point there, stuff like this. Unexpected, obviously. Everybody probably in the whole country, but having City in your mind before each game, you think, oh, they will win that. Ah, yeah, they will win that. So, and most of the time it happens. So that's just the quality they have. And the biggest strength they have with all the things they've won in the last few years, the desire they show to win the next one is pretty special, to be honest. I think there was not one point they lost because they were not really there. Like, oh my God, do we really have to play here? Not at all. They are in the games, and the opponent had to fight extremely hard to get something out of the game. So, and what we had to do, we spoke about already. So we had to change, and in the same moment we had to improve, and that's obviously a bit of a real challenge, to be honest. To change is one thing, but it has to work out immediately. Imagine if we would have changed and it wouldn't work out. We had famously, I think in the last few years, new players always came in and needed a while to start for us, stuff like this. But that was as well because we had a pretty stable formation. So now we open the door in midfield, but that meant as well our boys who were already here are still really young, like Harvey, Curtis, especially Harvey, for example, and the other boys who came in had pretty much to step in immediately. So the luck we had was that we had a proper preseason together. So if that's a normal summer, like the next summer, which would make it much more tricky with all the tournaments, Copa America and Euros, it would be completely different. But here we had now time to work together, and that gave us the opportunity to find together a bit quicker, and that's why we could have the results. And then to create a new team and a new team dynamic, it helps if you have to overcome difficulties, stuff like this. You cannot, don't want to create them in training camps. You want to create them with give them a physical job, which they barely can do. And then when they get through this, they feel the pain together. During a season, it's obviously much more difficult, but we got that through the stories of the games we played, with being 10 men down, 9 men down, stuff like this, and overcoming these situations. So yeah, we needed luck there as well. And we had it. I think the boys deserved it, but that gave us a direction. But I'm far off sitting here now and feeling we got City. So the only thing we have to do, we go there, find the entrance, and then we have the 3 points. So that's not the case. Our development goes in the right direction, but I'm really not there and say, City, be aware or whatever. So they are who they are, and they are strong, extremely strong, and we have to be as strong as somehow possible, and then let's see what we can get for it.
I know it doesn't affect this fixture, but can I ask your immediate reaction when you found out about Everton's points deduction last week? And did you think it was, a lot of people think it's very over the top?
I was absolutely not in the subject, to be honest. I was. Did I know that there was No, I don't think I knew it. I just heard about it at 10 points, and there was a lot of discussion. What I heard, they appeal it, and that's it. Everybody would do that probably, but that's all I can say about it.
Carl?
We know Alexis McAllister has been doing a job here at 6. I'm just wondering if you can assess how well his adaptation to that newer role has gone, and does tomorrow present the biggest test of how well his adaptation has gone?
The first and foremost, I don't know the lineup in this moment, so I don't know. We have to really, as I said before, we have to talk to a lot of people before I make that. No, if so, because I understand that from the outside world, it's always about how is a player in this position, this position, this position. But in the end, it's all about how the whole team is set up. So is Maka a natural born 6? No. Did football develop in the last year in directions we couldn't have imagined before? Yes. Does that mean that a player like Maka can play the 6? Definitely. It depends to how the whole team defends. That's it. Easy as that. Easy as that. And if you do that properly, then you have an incredible player in a central position, an extra player in a central position who find passes, who is a forward thinking player and all these kind of things. So now you have to, do you want to have somebody there who is just knocking players down, and if in possession he thinks, my job, so I give.
I told everybody what number 6 Jürgen Klopp wants. Bring your apologies. Bring your apologies to me.
Give me a break, stuff like this. So it's not that easy. I like him there a lot, to be honest. And we as a team, we can benefit a lot from it if we make sure we have a really compact formation, and that's what we need, and that's what we especially need tomorrow, of course.
Just follow up on what you said there about how football has developed in the last 12 months.
I told everybody. How long have I been telling everyone for? How long have I been telling everyone? Jürgen Klopp sees Alex McAllister as his number 6. He's just blatantly told you on live TV. I've been telling everyone this for so long. Everyone keeps going at me. But why didn't Liverpool buy Ugarte? Why didn't Liverpool buy this? Why didn't Liverpool buy that? Because he likes Alexis McAllister. Let's see what else he says, because he might go on about stuff. But do you know the reason I'm happy about this, guys? Because do you know how much abuse I've been taking on social media about this comment that I've been going with? I've been going on other Liverpool content creators' channels, been telling them, stop having to go at the owners all the time. The manager likes Alexis McAllister. But let's see what else he says, because he might go on and things. But it's obvious he likes Alexis.
Not 12 months, years.
What are you sort of specifically referring to there in terms of what is the one thing that you've seen that's changed significantly? I mean,
football team. I'm not sure in this for sure in the last year, but in the last years, football teams are coached much better. That's how it is. We can play different systems. Most of us at least can. Teams are much better organized in possession. Possession was in the past really a lot about a bit coincidence and individual quality. Even that is much better organized now, and all these kind of things. Analyze is much better. You to surprise an opponent is pretty much impossible nowadays. I think that was possible years ago. All these kind of things. So in details, the game changed massively. Hi.
Trent believes you can challenge for the title.
Sorry, what was the first word?
Trent.
A trend.
Yeah.
Said that. Oh.
Well, he believes you're good enough to kind of be challenging for the title. So how much will this game tell you about where your team is at?
I don't know before the game. So you look, a lot of things can happen. Where we don't want to start with a bad. So we play bad and lose. Possible. We play bad and win. I would say it's unlikely. It's pretty much not possible against City. We play very good and don't win. It's possible. That's football. We play very good and win. And it all would happen to exactly the same team. Because this team doesn't have to pass a test now or something like that. The direction we are going is really the right one. That's obvious. We are not perfect. We saw that. We only played, okay, it was international break, but the game of our last Premier League game was Toulouse. We were not good there. I made a lot of changes, so it goes really on my responsibility, but still we're not good. And against Luton, we were not good. So got a point or fine, could have won the game, but if we win that game, we were not good that night. That's how it is. But in a lot of games so far this season, we were good and deserved what we got in a different situation. So with 10 men, we were outstanding for a team, one man down. With 9 men, we were exceptional. With 2 men down. So these kind of things, that's all us. And it has nothing to do with the next game. But of course, we play that game, but it's not a test how close can we get to City. So it's just a really super exciting football game. One of these, I would watch wherever I am on the planet. I would. because why wouldn't you watch this game? So it's like everything there you need. But for us, it's not about being excited, that kind of excitement. So like, oh my God, can't wait. So we have to prepare it properly. And we know we have to be at our best to get a chance. We have that. It's about us to take it. We will see.
And the last one's for the breakout. Well,
Just check on TV, Jürgen. Can I say Gomez, John, there? Are they all available?
Only the long-term absentees are still out. No new concerns before I enter this room. So Conor Bradley completely normal in training, but now he needs to play games. We're starting with the U21. Kate Gordon was with us in training the whole week, which is really exciting. Looks really good. Has now to gain minutes, but I think that's it.
last one here.
Hi, Jürgen. You were quite vocal about your displeasure at the kickoff time when it was announced earlier in the month. Can you tell us what effect does the lunchtime kickoff for such a game have on your preparation?
No, because I'm not, my English is not good enough to make sure that you all understand it. So why should I waste my time or your time? Thomas, not 12:30, but the general schedule. Thomas Tuchel had an interesting. He explained completely calm why it's so difficult to be a high quality footballer with national team stuff like this. And the German newspaper made Tuchel had a rant. I watched it and I thought, if that's a rant, that's a difficult word. And he was completely calm. So try to get a translation of that, then you know why the schedule, and they have lesser games than we have in England. Nobody wants to hear it. You don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear to my explanation. I tried a couple of times. Whatever I say, you always say, but is that much a difference? So I'm really a bit tired of that. I love playing at 12:30. That's my new attitude.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh man. Very interesting, guys. What an interesting press conference. Just from the fact that we can all put this DM stuff to bed. We can put all the DM stuff to bed now. The defensive midfield is number 6 position. As I've been saying for a long time now, I've been saying it on other shows. I've been saying it on my show. I've been saying it on Twitter. Jürgen Klopp sees Alexis McAllister as a number 6 long term. As he said there, he believes football's moved on. Philosophy's changed. The way we play has changed. He wants a ball playing defensive midfielder, and that's Alexis McAllister. I want to see Flowers in the live chat. I need to see Flowers in the live chat. I need my Flowers, guys. I've been saying this. I need my Flowers. Get them in the live chat. I need W's all over the shop. W's all over. Come on. I need this ego boost today. I need this ego boost because I've been getting this in the neck for time. Alexis McAllister, man. Alexis McAllister. I've been saying it. I don't mind Alexis McAllister in the 6. I've not once slagged him off there at all. You know, I've been saying it for a while. It's the way Klopp wants to play. And I said it in my video last week, weren't it? I said in the video last week that I am no longer I'm going to sit here. I've progressed it. I've processed it all now. This is the way Jürgen Klopp wants to play. We're going to play risk for reward football. We're going to give chances up, unfortunately, because it's the way we play. He wants to be more compact in midfield. That's why he's happy with Alexis McAllister in that number 6 position. And as time goes on, I think that midfield will learn to get more compact playing together as the time goes on. So, yeah, man, it's interesting. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. It was, Morton, it was interesting, but a lot of people didn't agree, man. A lot of people didn't agree. Look, everyone, big up you beautiful people. Oh man. Big up Tony Montana. That jumper looks cozy. Nice and comfy jumper. It's cold now here in the UK. I don't know if you're in the UK, Tony, but it is absolutely freezing today. It's cold. But big up Tony Montana. Thank you very much, my friend. Mystic Phillips, you know. I'm gonna have to get on a t-shirt. Mystic Phillips. Man, I know if that was Jamie, I'm in shock. Everyone's look. Klopp could change, right? So he said it's all part of his philosophy, yeah? I get that. It's his philosophy. Hang on, I've got to send our man the link. 1 second, guys. I've got to get our man over here. Where's my thingy? There we go. Let's get K-Mac over here, and then we'll carry this on. I want to get K-Mac's opinion on stuff. Let's get my man K-Mac in here. If Cal's around, Cal, if you're watching, let me know. If you want to jump on for 5 minutes or so, let me know. If you're watching, Cal, if you want to jump on, let me know. Who did I send a link to? Oh, I'm sending it. There we go. There we go. There we go. You got Aaron, how you doing, man? How's everyone doing? Klopp out, Linda's in. I'll call half of the Klopp stick riders are on here. Never questioning. Big up, James. Big up, Aaron, how you doing, man? Injury news is all good. It's only the 3 long-term injuries that are still out. That's all. Big up, Jerry. Jerry, did you hear just what our man Klopp said in the press conference? You know, McAllister's his number 6. How you doing, Jerry? Jerry, if you want to come in, man, I can send you the link. Let me know. Yeah, but big up everybody. I've sent our man the link, so he should be here in a minute. Big up to everyone, though. Man, it's interesting, man. Big up Black Prince. Jamie, this is not a dig. Big up Black Prince in the house, as always. Much love to you. Jamie, it's not a dig at Klopp, but it's full damn time, fans. Stop blaming FSG for every damn thing. If that's what my manager wants. So I've been saying this a time, Black Prince. How long have I been saying this for? Klopp gets what he wants. I've been saying this for time. People got to start listening. Klopp's philosophy is changing. Klopp just said it in there in the press conference. His philosophy is changing because football is changing. So because football is changing, he's starting to think differently about the way he sets up for games and about the way he looks at football. You know, the way it changes and evolves. So he's getting players in that evolve with the times. And he said Alexis McAllister is not a number 6 by nature, but he likes him there because of the things he can do with the football. And if you play a more compact midfield, Klopp don't see it as a problem. I mean, I think, like Lucky T says here, big out Lucky T, I think Stefan Bajcetic will be the main guy eventually, one day. But there's no rush. No rush for Stefan at the moment. Jerry, you and me, man. You and me have been saying it for time there, man. You and me have been saying it for time. Been saying it for time. Jerry, if you're available, let me know and I can send you the link. Tomorrow's games. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game, guys. It might be it's a big game. Big game. But once we get K-Mac in here, let me make sure I did send him the link. I did. Hang on. What's going on here? Why ain't this working? Right, why ain't this working? Klopp came out and talked. Hang on. I agree. I agree with that as well, living the dream. I agree with that. And we're not saying you're wrong or anyone else is wrong. I think if the right DM was available, Jürgen Klopp would go and get him. But right now, where we stand right now, he doesn't mind Alexis McAllister in that position. But I do agree. If other people were available, it came out. If you watch it, man, I just sent it. I don't know why I didn't go through the first time. You know, it's you living dreams, right? I think if there was a DM available that Jürgen really wanted, would go and get that DM. But when he got Alexis McAllister, he didn't originally plan him to be at DM by the sounds of it. But once he played there, Klopp liked it. I've been saying, like I keep saying, guys, out of all our midfielders, he's the only one who plays DM. He's literally the only one who plays that number 6 position if he's available. I think if Klopp can get hold of the DM that he really wants, like Living Dream said, if Tchouameni was available, he just went, yeah, Liverpool got him, job done, no problem. But I don't think there's not that many kind of players at Klopp wants, Let's get a K-Mac in the house as well. Big up, my man. How you doing?
I'm all right. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Loud and clear, man. Loud and clear.
What have I missed? What have I missed? I've just jumped in. I haven't had a chance to.
Oh, did you miss the press conference?
I've missed the presser.
All right. So it was an all right press conference. Klopp was in good form. Didn't really say too much we didn't know. So at the injury fronts, basically the only long-term absences are the long-term absences. Basically, Thiago, Stefan and Robbo, everyone else is back and available for the game. And then he got asked a question about Alexis McAllister in the number 6 role. And he basically said he likes him there.
That's that then.
He basically said he liked him there. He said, like, the way he put it, he said, is Alexis McAllister a number 6? No. Do I like him there? Yes. And then he sort of spoke about the philosophy in football's changing because football's adapting and changing differently. So the way I got to look at it, it's got to change as well. So that's what he's basically saying. He said, it won't be so much of a problem if we're more compact in midfield. So it's like you and me have been saying for a while now. He wants that compact nature of midfield of a Curtis Jones, a Szoboszlai, a Gravenberch and a McAllister in that 6th position, and Trent inverting to be more compact. And he doesn't see it as an issue like us fans do.
I mean, he's not going to say no, is he?
No.
He's not going to say he doesn't like him there, because that's going to knock the confidence of.
But he could have said,
McAllister.
We haven't got the players there available right now,
haven't.
so I think McAllister's.
He's right.
Alexis is the most obvious choice to play there. He could have gone down that route, but he literally said, "No, I like him there. I like because the reason he said he likes him there is because he can do what he wants. He's, we've been saying, Klopp wants a number 6 who can progress with the ball and move the ball through lines and all that sort. That's basically what he said in his press conference as well.
Yeah, I mean, McAllister can do that. Also, Endo can do that as well. Like, they're both very capable of progressing the ball forward. I'll tell you what's an interesting one. Tyler Morton looks a hell of a player.
Yeah, Tyler Morton's a good player. I think he might.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, Ashley's right. Yeah, Klopp's sarcasm has got better because he said about the 12:30 kickoffs, and he says he loves them now. He loves 12:30 kickoffs. That's his new thing. Yeah, his sarcasm is big out, Ashley.
Forgot it's 12:30 again. What's that like? What's that like? Game number 9.
It's on Sky though, and not TNT, ain't it?
Sky at 12:30.
Because TNT game is the Arsenal Brentford game at 5:30. I think they swapped it around.
I just don't understand why we keep on getting crap times, because they are crap times. Like, have we got some kind of like issue with like drinking or something as fans? And that's the
Probably.
reason why. That's the reason why, because I can't think of any other reason, or maybe we've complained so much that our fans can't get home from games,
Yeah, that could
so
be.
they've gone,
that
"I'll
could
just
be.
give them early games so they can get the train back."
Or on their algorithms, it shows that Liverpool are the most watched team in the country, and they put them at 12:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could be
Interesting one.
it could be that as well. Could
Think
be
about
that
it
as well.
though, is like in the US and countries like that 12:30 kickoff game would be like, I don't know, like 3 o'clock in the morning, isn't it? 4 o'clock in the morning or something. Like a really crazy times, wouldn't they, to watch it? It's interesting. Is Curtis Jones back then? Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Curtis is back. What
also
we're going to do?
Gomez.
Yeah. So in a minute, what we're going to do? I'm going to pick my team.
Yeah.
Then you're going to pick your team.
Cool.
Then we're going to go with Klopp's team.
Okay.
All right, and then we'll put it
Which
to
won't
the
be
chat.
our teams.
Whose team? No, whose team's the best? Sky are insisting that Klopp eats his Christmas dinner at 12:30. You know, I don't eat my Christmas lunch that far off either.
It's normally like one. Me.
It's called Christmas lunch. I had my Christmas
Normally
dinner
slept in
around.
till about 12 anyway.
I had my Christmas dinner around between 12 and 3.
If I'm on holiday from work, I'm definitely not getting up after before 11.
You got kids, K-Mac? No. See, that's all right. I've got kids. Christmas Day is 5. Christmas Day is 5
Oh
in the
God,
morning.
yeah, you're up at 6, mate. You're up at 6.
5 in the morning, man. The Christmas dinner by 1 o'clock. I'm starving, so it's a good time to eat it.
It's fair enough, though, isn't it?
Big up Lee in the chat. Big up Ant. Big up Morton. Big up Gary, Aaron, Bear, Boom, Andy, Ravi in the house. Hope you're all doing well. James as well. Russell, I believe I saw in Ashley in this house as well. Ashley Russell, big up to you as well. Jake Ismet and everyone else. Big up Oscar. Everyone, big up to all you beautiful people, and hope you're doing well.
And big up to all the people who subscribed to me recently. In the
there
chat.
you go. Well done, guys. That's what you got to do. Share that love. Share that love.
Big up.
So what we go? Yeah. So that was basically all it was. He's been a bit sarcastic about the 12:30 kickoffs. He was talking about that. You know, there is too many games played, but he didn't really want to. You know, he basically said my English ain't good enough, so I'm not really going to explain what I really mean because he's basically saying you lot will take it wrong and just print crap. He talked.
Did he get asked about Andre?
No, he didn't actually. He just got asked about the real one thing they asked about was Alexis McAllister. I think they were trying to get something out of him from, you know, and then that follow-up question might have been about a January transfer in at number 6. But
what about Trent? What about Trent for England in midfield? Did he get asked about him? He always gets asked about him now.
He might get asked later on in the thingy media bit, but he hasn't been asked yet.
The embargo section bit.
Yeah, he might get asked about
that'd be interesting if that comes.
I mean, it'd be interesting more to see what else he says about the number 6 position in the embargo bit, because he might say, and like I think in the Storm put it earlier that, or Living the Dream, someone put it earlier that, you know, and I agree, if Klopp had the right DM available, he would play DM. If he hasn't got the right DM available right now, he's very, very happy with Alexis McAllister playing that position. I don't think that doesn't mean he won't go and buy a DM, but what I think it does mean is that he's not going to buy a number 1 DM just for the sake of it. I don't think he's going to go and get anyone. Like, the DM's about it. He wants a footballing playing number 6. So I think it just shows that if it's not available right now, he will continue playing Alexis McAllister.
I mean, he could genuinely just be looking for a guy who's a bit like Rodri, and you know, they're like unicorns. There's not a lot of them around.
Exactly, and if they ain't around,
I think Paulini is probably as close as you're going to get, but we'll see how that one develops. But like we talked about as well, if we're linked with someone, we're probably not getting him. That's how we do things. Like if we're linked with them, then we're probably not getting them.
No, exactly.
Someone completely different.
I think Fabrizio said it yesterday in a tweet that he expects Liverpool to do something in January that, you know, sort of shock people like the Szoboszlai deal. I said to Cal the other day. When I was talking to Cal the other day, and I said like, wouldn't shock me if Liverpool bought a midfielder in January that ain't a DM.
It's a good point.
That ain't a DM.
It's a good point.
I think Klopp. I've said this for a while about Jürgen, and it's one of the things I do rate Jürgen with about not just buying anyone. You look at, Arsenal going and buy Kai Havertz and don't really know where he plays. It seems like a weird transfer. Klopp really looks at a player, thinks what he can get out of him, and he plays him in that position. And what I will give Klopp credit with, he will stick to it as well. Like people were saying, Alexis McAllister shouldn't play 6, but Klopp's like, he's playing there, and he's got to work, and I'm going to stick with it. I ain't going to mess it around. It's what we're doing. I do rate that by him. I have to admit, I do rate that, because I don't think you can go down the route of just buying players. Like, if this was Brendan Rodgers in charge right now, he would have just got any old number 6. That would have been a waste of money and not good enough. And Klopp's like, he knows what he has to spend.
If it was Brendan Rodgers, we'd have got James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, exactly. And if they're not, this is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying with the Wataru Endo thing. I keep saying it as well with Wataru Endo. I think he wanted a player in there that was an older head in midfield with a bit of experience that we didn't get left wanting, because that's why he got someone like Wataru Endo in. Because I don't think he ever thought Henderson. If Henderson never left, I don't think Endo comes to the football club.
The Endo thing is interesting as well, because I watched a little bit of our video that we did last time back, and it was funny because like we talked about players that Klopp wanted, and we talked about players that Klopp got when the board really wasn't really entertaining to do it, and one of them was Milner. Endo's a Milner, and he was also signed when he was 30.
Yeah, exactly.
And Endo has got quite a few years left in those legs, by the way, because he hasn't played a huge amount of games, considering, and he hasn't played a huge amount of Premier League games, which are probably the most, leggy games you're ever going to do. So, that makes perfect sense for me now. If you think about it, if he's a Milner replacement and he can play DM, he can play midfield, he can play right back, he can play centre back. You've got a guy who's jack of all trades, really, does a lot of stuff. He's a good international. He's got loads of experience in a couple of leagues now. He was okay. Yeah, we probably did pay a bit too much for him in like 16 million. He's probably a guy we probably should have got for about 10 million most. But it is what it is, and he's done a good job so far. And if he's a Milner replacement, then that's absolutely fine. We'll get a couple of years out of him. We got 6 years out of Milner, didn't we?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think Klopp does like having older players in his squad for that kind of reason. But I think Wataru Endo will be useful when we're going later in the season next year, in January, February, March, April time. That's when Wataru Endo will become useful, because he can play them games where McAllister needs a rest. Like, he can play a Europa League game, he can play a League Cup game, an FA Cup game. And you don't have to waste McAllister's legs in them games, and you can rest him for the big Premier League matches. So, there's got to be the odd Premier League game that Wataru Endo can come into. So, I think looking at it from January, February, March time, I think that's when someone like Wataru Endo comes useful to Liverpool. A bit like Taki Minamino. Now, Taki came useful for Liverpool in the Cups because he was a decent player. He could do a job, and he give Salah and people like this a little bit of a rest, and save their legs for the bigger games later down the road. And maybe that's what he's looking at. And also, with the amount of people that left, I think Klopp was aware that time was running out in the transfer window, and he needed someone he thinks he could trust just to come into the club as a player there that ain't too much on the money and all that sort of stuff. And I think Endo was the one he wanted. But with the number 6 way with Alexis McAllister, Klopp very happy in playing there. He said it himself that he also said he expects the team to defend better around him as well. He doesn't expect his number 6 just to be the defensive linchpin now, like Fabinho used to. He expects, everyone around him in that midfield to be more compact and defend better as a team.
You know what he's saying then? No goals, no creativity, stop shooting.
But came out.
I know that's what the midfield. That's what the midfield does.
Szoboszlai. How long have we been saying that? Szoboszlai
But
is
why buy
on the
them?
right hand side, and it's just, yeah.
Why buy these guys?
It's
oh my god!
yeah.
Can you imagine Gerrard in our team? You imagine Gerrard under Klopp. You'd be like, oh my god, he's gonna. No, he's not going to shoot from 30 yards.
He'll play the DM role. I would have thought. I think like Max says here, he wants them to be box to box players, and that is right.
Yeah.
He wants you to defend in your box and attack the other box. He wants the left hand side midfielder
because they're doing so much
defend, and then sort of the middle 6. So it's a box guy plays on the right of a 3, he expects him to be box to box. That's why he wants energetic footballers. That's why Klopp says I need legs. That's why he always mentions it. I need legs, because he wants a box to box on the right and a box to box on the left, and then number 6 sort of just sits there. And I think he feels like he said about philosophy and the way football's changing, the way things are changing, he has to adapt and change with it. And he likes McAllister there, but he said it's not down to him. It shouldn't be down to him, basically, to defend the whole midfield and himself. It's a job we've all got to do together. But, I think I've never had a problem with McAllister playing there personally, because I can understand what Klopp wants him to do. And I've been trying to tell people this, but no one wanted to listen. It was all FSG's fault. It's just madness. It's just madness. But you know what's going to happen? And that, like the biggest FSG haters in the world that can't stand them and just have this agenda will try and make out that Klopp didn't say this today in his press conference.
God.
That's what happens all the time.
Our team will be interesting because I've already thought of mine.
Right, yeah, let's get the teams up. Big up everyone in the chat.
Yeah, big up everyone.
Good. Right, let's do these teams. Let's get them up.
Mike, I don't quite agree with that. I don't think throwing an 18-year-old would be better than Endo. I just don't. I think
Klopp likes Stefan, rates him, but with Stefan, you've got plenty of time, man. You don't need to rush the kid. Yeah. He's 18. He's 18. That's why I think he's got Wataru Endo in it. That's why I bought Wataru Endo. He looks at it and goes, I've got McAllister will be my weekly Premier League number 6. I've got Wataru Endo I can come bring in as a substitute for McAllister and rest him. I can bring him in for games in Europa League, League Cup and FA Cup, some Premier League games when I know McAllister needs a rest. And then when Stefan comes back, I've got Stefan as well. And there he's free, man. There he's free. He
did do that as well. When Stefan was back, he did play him.
Yeah, he likes Stefan,
he played him, but he got injured. Unfortunate.
It's just
probably came back too soon.
Yeah, I think he did. I think they just used him a bit too soon. Right. What I'll do, because you're the guest, I'll let you do your team first, man.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
What formation do you want?
Oh, okay. There's no point in me trying to make my own up. So we'll just go 4-3-3.
4-3-3. No worries. Right, who's first?
Okay, so goalie's going to be Ali.
Yeah. Oh, did you see TalkSports? Did anyone see TalkSports Liverpool Man City combined 11? You know that woman, is it Leanne something, the former player, the Man United fan? Yeah, she said
the morning show with Cascarino.
That's it. She said, no, not her. It's the Butch woman. Oh, Leanne something, I think her name is. But yeah, she said Edison over Allison all day, every day.
Whatever.
She said he's not even that. She basically made it out like Allison's nowhere near Edison's level. He was absolutely mad. Right. Allison in goal. Who's your back four, man?
So Trent,
Trent.
Matip.
Oh,
The other way.
Matip.
The other way.
Yeah,
Oh, you can
sorry.
put Virgil there. Put Virgil
Yeah,
there.
so-
Yeah,
yeah,
Matip.
you go Virgil. Chip. Left
Gomez.
back. Gomez. Joey G. Right, your midfield three.
Then you got Jones on the left.
Jones.
McAllister.
Mac Daddy.
And Dom.
Oh, come on, there's no one else with this name.
There isn't. On the left-hand side, Jota.
Shut up.
Nunes. Salah.
Yeah, it's a good team.
Diaz can come off the bench.
All right. That's a
Diaz
good team.
has played a lot of games as well recently. He played both the South American games, like full 90, and he's just coming back. Jota played like Iceland and some other random team. Like, yeah.
So what? So
Mo played some Uber drivers.
I like this team. It's very close to what I'm going to pick as well. Joe Gomez at left back.
Shimaka's, I'm not. I think it's too big for him. Too big a game.
So Tsimikas apparently left the Greece squad early to make sure he was fit and ready for this, didn't he?
Oh,
so
I don't want our left-sided left back bombing forward. Like I just don't think it's going to be a good idea because you know for a fact Trent is probably going to go inverted in some stage. We need to have someone who can play centre back as well because he might have to do a bit of that.
If Trent goes in here,
yeah,
then you can shift across and you've got three centre backs.
And Gomez is perfectly fine doing that.
Yeah, so you can play. You can
and
do
Jones
that.
goes wide, and Jones going wide really does give us.
Yeah, because Jones takes some width, don't he? And then you can have you've got sort of like that there, ain't you?
Yeah.
So
and
I can
Jones
understand
got a really good relationship with Jota as well, by the way. Played so many games together.
I agree. With that, with Trent, are you worried about Trent being inverted for this game?
Hell yeah. Quaking in my boots.
Who do you think City are going to go with in left wing? Are they going to go Jack? Because a lot of City fans think Jack Grealish will play. Are they going to go Doku or Jack Grealish?
No, they'll go Grealish.
You reckon they go Grealish?
Yeah.
Who would you? Because if Trent's going to go inverted and Klopp decides to get Trent inverted in sort of like that sort of pattern there as we see now, would you rather Jack Grealish played because he's more about being clever, tricky on the ball instead of his sort of athleticism and pace, or would you be more worried about?
I'd rather Jack play because he's not as
Doku's
fast.
Doku's just so direct,
and Matip is very measured in his tackling. So he won't just foul him. And even if Matip gets pulled to the right, so if you just pull him to the right now on your screen.
Oh yeah, who's that?
Matip. So if Matip gets pulled out to the right, Trent will just slot in there.
Yeah, come in
well.
there. Like
he's done it loads now. Him and Matip have got a pretty good relationship.
Yeah, I'm with you on
him and Matip are probably the best together when he goes inverted. If I'm honest.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that. Matip, he's just a cooler defender in Kanate right now. And because he's a bit cooler under pressure. I like Kanate, but I wouldn't choose Kanate for this game just because the needless fouls he sometimes gives away. I don't think we can afford that. And I think Matip's just a bit better he's more mature, got more experience, and in big games, I think he's just that better big game defender right now than Kanate is.
He also has a lot of chances from corners, Matip. For some reason, Kanate just doesn't seem to be getting on the end of anything this season for corners. I'm really I can't really understand that. He's an absolute giant.
Yeah.
Like, he towers
mean-
above everyone for headers, but for some reason he doesn't seem to be. Do you remember last season he scored like two? Was it last season or season before where he scored like
First season,
3 corners?
Scored 4 in a row, didn't he?
Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was, and I was like,
Scored
oh
4
my god,
games in a row.
this is a hell of a weapon to have, and then nothing.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Big
I agree. So I'm going to think of what Klopp might do here first before I pick my team, because I was thinking about this yesterday. Yeah, so we got a lot of South Americans in our team.
We have,
and I think so. Here's the issue. So Luis Diaz played in South America all week, all the last 10 days. Darwin Núñez has been in South America the last 10 days. Salah's been in Egypt the last 10 days. They've all played. Especially that front three. I don't think that front three plays against Man City. Jota, I think Roberto Mancini's a Portuguese manager now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he don't like Jota. For some reason, he don't rate him. So he's not picking him. I think Jota played one game as that left wing back for Portugal.
He set up Ronaldo for their second goal, and it was an important goal.
Good bit of play. But I think Jota's only played that game. So Jota, I think, starts this match because of that.
Yeah.
The other guy I think might start this match because of that is Cody Gakpo.
Really?
Cody Gakpo never went on international duty. He's come back from injury. He's obviously fit and ready now because he's training, as Klopp said today. He's ready to be picked and he's ready to be available. This game might mean all about pressing. Oh, is it Roberto Martinez? Yeah, Roberto Martinez is the
I thought you said that. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know why I said.
I thought you said Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez.
We nearly got him as a manager, by the way. He was on our list.
Yeah, Jesus
Christ.
It's all about pressing. I think Klopp will feel like he needs to press City the way Chelsea pressed them, because that's the way Chelsea played. They played just through completely pressing City for the whole game, and I think if he's looking at that and thinking that might be the way to do it, then to play that way, Gakpo, Jota, and Salah is their front three. Big up Mo in the house. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing good, Mo. Big up to you, man. We'll get you on the show soon, do some work. Guys, make sure you go and subscribe to Footy Judge Mo's account. His YouTube channel, if you've not already, doing great stuff over there. Good bloke. Go and check him out. So Liverpool want to play. Liverpool might do the Chelsea route where they press Man City. If they go press Man City, Jota, Núñez and Salah, Jota, Gakpo and Salah would be the three plays. I'm just worried that Klopp will feel like playing at that front three that played in South America and Egypt for the last 10 days. Only came back and had 2 training sessions. Yesterday's might have been a bit of a lighter session. Today might have been a bit tougher. And then it's an early kickoff with Alexis McAllister, who's played in South America, come back in the team as well. Dominic Szoboszlai has been away in Hungary. Do you think Klopp might be a bit wary of playing too many of these guys?
Yeah. I don't think he'll play all the South Americans. I don't think Dom played the last game because they qualified.
No, he was drunk.
Yeah, he was drunk. He was drinking with the crowd. I'm surprised he didn't get like some kind of disciplinary, because like he had a shot during the goal celebration, like in the middle of the match.
Just do it, man. Love him.
Which is crazy, but fair play. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Jota and Gakpo together. I think they get in each other's way. I think we're a bit toothless when those two are in the team together. They don't seem to score goals. Like I don't know what the record is. I'll have to look at that. But I don't think it's great when they both play together. Goals wise, don't think we score enough goals.
No.
I think you have to play Núñez. He's on fire.
Oh, I agree.
Like, you have to play Nunes when he's got his tail behind him. You know what I mean? Like,
Is Darwin I don't think Darwin started the game after internationals.
I don't think he has. But
I
I just feel like if we don't capitalize on Nunes' confidence, it fades, and then he does miss stuff, and he does get grief, and then maybe gets in his own head then. But I just feel like Nunes is definitely a starter. I mean, he scored 2 in his last match, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean,
I've got.
That's fair enough, mate. At the end of the day, we could both be wrong.
I've just got a feeling. I've got. Oh, Jesus.
He could play Trent in midfield. We could both be wrong.
I have a feeling that one of Gakpo or Jota will play. It won't shock me if Gakpo played in midfield.
It would shock me. I don't know.
I just see. Oh, look, I think Klopp might be thinking something like this, yeah, where he plays because Gakpo's at false 9. Also, if you're pressing the life out of Man City, Gakpo and Jota are definitely better to have on the pitch. I agree, but what Gakpo can do, he can come into this position and sit on Rodri, and then that allows Salah and Jota to come more inside. So you almost got like a diamond in midfield and 2 up top. So you're almost playing a 4-4-2 diamond. In a way where, Szoboszlai can get out in the wide areas like we know he can. Jones can do the same thing. You got Gakpo coming in a little bit deeper, trying to sit on Rodri, stopping, like controlling the midfield. And then you bring Salah and Jota in a bit more inwards, and you've almost got a 4-4-2 diamond away from home. That way you get more compact in the midfield. You got that more compact midfield central area. What do you reckon, K-Mac?
I do like that, but I think against City, they're gonna come at us. So I think we play more of a natural game where we are wider. Like I do think we can play more of our natural game against City. They're not low block, are they? So we don't need to flood the midfield like that. It'd be interesting. At the end of the day, mate, we can say a million things, can't we? And Klopp always surprises us.
Oh yeah, I think
he always does it. He probably won't play Gomez. He'll probably play Tsimikas.
I think Tsimikas will play. I'm going to put my.
I'll probably end up playing now.
I'll put my I'll put my team in. So this is the 4 I would play: Van Dijk, Matip, Trent, and I'd leave Trent as a fullback. Don't want him inverted in this game. I think Jota starts. I think Salah starts. I'm going to put Nunes in. In fact, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going my team.
You put Diaz in.
I'm going my team. I want the best team available, man. If they're all fit and available to play, I want them all fit and available to play.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess around. This front three will scare the life out of anyone. They have to play, in my opinion. And I think that's definitely in the midfield. So that'll be my 11 that plays against Man City. I just feel like Luis Diaz up against Kyle Walker. That will give Kyle Walker a lot of issues. That will give Kyle Walker a lot of problems. Jota up against Kyle Walker. I don't think Kyle Walker will be threatening so much. But Luis Diaz is going to keep Kyle Walker occupied because Luis Diaz keeps the wider area of the pitch. It's a natural winger where Jota will come inside quite a lot, pick the balls up in central areas and things like that. And we'll leave that he's left Man City's right-hand side maybe a little bit more vacant for Kyle Walker to get forward a little bit. I think Luis Diaz might try and keep Kyle Walker pushed back, although he's not an attacking fullback, but they play a high line like Liverpool do, City. And I think with Diaz sitting on Salah, Diaz sitting on Kyle Walker, and Salah, look, there's a player. There's a player for Man City who plays left back. I think gets away with quite a lot, considering he costs a lot of money. I don't think he's been that great.
Neither do I.
And he's playing left back right now for Man City, and it's not his natural position. Rather be a centre back. But if you've got someone who's playing out of position, not in their natural position, the last player you want playing up against them is Mo Salah, in my opinion, with his experience at right wing. And I think Klopp's going to be looking to get Salah in as much as he can. I really do. That's why I think that right-hand side to that team's important. That Salah, Szoboszlai, Trent position is just too important for me.
He doesn't rate him as a centre back though, because like John Stones has been injured, and he hasn't moved him in. He played a Kanji.
Yeah,
He didn't move him into centre back. He played a Kanji, which is weird. Like, you pay that much money for a really good centre back. I mean, he's a really good centre back, but he still has him out wide.
Mm.
And you know, when John Stones got injured, he didn't bring him into the centre. He still left him. He didn't have a great game against Chelsea, by the way, which we can exploit. And the interesting thing as well, Da Frey, I think, has scored 12 goals on international duty, which is just nuts.
And they also played a lot as well on international duty, which makes me wonder if Jota's going to play, because he only played. I think he only played the one game, didn't he?
I think he came on against Iceland.
Yeah,
but he definitely played the first game,
and he played in Europe as well, which is a lot.
Yeah,
a lot different, less issue. The time zones ain't too bad.
I'm not really sure. I'm not like I don't particularly think Salah actually did work that hard during international duty, because the teams he played.
Salah's all right in a way, because man, you fit.
Yeah.
Big up Jerry, how you doing, man?
Big up Jerry.
Good man, I'm good. What's going on? People?
Oh, good man. How you been? Been a while?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Busy. I'm a busy man, but
that's what I like to hear.
I'd be happy to be on.
Good man.
You're building a cat sanctuary there, aren't you now?
Yeah.
I can see the skyscrapers behind you.
Yeah, got 2 cats now, so I need a couple. If that.
Yeah. Man, I know about cats. Cool. Don't worry about that. Did you watch the press conference?
I didn't, but I've read and heard.
Go on, give me your take on the Mac bit.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I don't know why there was this narrative about, Klopp needing a DM or Liverpool looking to go and get a DM. If you look at all the DMs we were actually going in for, the midfielders we were going in for, bar maybe Decore, little links to Painha, they all were players that could play in the 8 and play in the 6. You look at Kefren Turam, you look at Kone, you go and look at Gravenberg, who we got after that. They're all players that are more box-to-box players, but I've got legs on them. And Klopp spoke about wanting legs. So when we brought McAllister in, my biggest issue with bringing McAllister in was he hasn't got legs. So there's only one position he can really play in for Liverpool, for me, and that's in the 6 role. Because of his supposed abilities on the ball. I don't think we've seen them to be fair, this season. I think if I'm going to be honest, he's been very underwhelming in my opinion for what he can do, especially on the ball. Because off the ball, even though he's not a 6, I haven't looked at many performances and said, off the ball, he's been the worst player on the pitch or stuff. There's maybe been a couple, but it's on the ball that he's been poor. He's been poor in my opinion. So I agree with Klopp from that perspective. I think it takes a team effort to go and defend. I think Klopp realised that after relying on Fabinho for so many years and realising that Fabinho couldn't do it on his own, I don't think he was ever going to go and get a player that would be so vital to the system that would mean that, let's say, for instance, in a hypothetical, Liverpool go out and get Painha in January. If Liverpool to go and do that, he then becomes the system as a DM. Because it's like he needs to play for Liverpool to tick. Because if he doesn't play defensively, they're all over the place. So now what? Do you know what I mean? Now we're in trouble. So I think he's tried to move away from that and have and not focus on that position as being a crucial component to what Liverpool have to do, which it was in the past. So it means that players rotate a bit more. You probably see a bit more rotation in midfield. But you're not going to see that 6 that you all want. Andre Trindade isn't that type of 6. Do you know what I mean? Lavia wasn't that type of 6, that type of destroyer that you're talking about, even though of course, they can go and put tackles in. They're not just the 6s. They're not like a Kante. They're not like a McAllister. So until fans get their head around that, you're always going to be screaming for the next DM of that sort. But I don't feel we're ever going to go down that route on the Klopp. So yeah, McAllister's our DM, and you got to accept it.
Man, that's what I've been saying for time, man. I keep saying it, that he's the only midfielder in our squad who plays the DM role. So it's obviously there's something there Klopp likes about him in that position. It's because he can do what Klopp wants him to do, you know, moving the ball forward and controlling the game and all this. I think he did a show where he wants to show that the team can defend as one. He wants the midfield all to defend. Like Szoboszlai's got to be box to box. Jones has got to be box to box, and the 6 sits, and they got to defend properly as a midfield. And I've never personally been bothered with McAllister playing there because, you know, it's at this moment in time, McAllister might not look great on the eye playing there, but it's hard to say it's not working. And I don't think us conceding chances is down to McAllister's fault. Personally, Jerry, I think that's more of a system issue.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think, like, when we're looking at chances, it's a team situation. So us conceding chances isn't down to McAllister at all. To be fair, when we started this season, playing McAllister in the DM, I didn't have an issue at all. But I wasn't impressed in that Chelsea game. I know a lot of people were with that pass he played into Salah, and they thought he had an amazing game. I think it was overstated. Apart from that, I haven't been impressed with him on the ball. And I think the qualities that I thought he would bring in there, I thought he'd be more in the mold of a Jabi Alonso, or more in the mold of whoever you want to go and stick in there. But he hasn't been able to go and do that, I don't think, effectively. Hence why I think fans are now criticising and saying, oh, it's McAllister's fault. We haven't got a DM. That's the reason why he needs to go and play in the 8. If I'm going to be like truly honest, if McAllister played in the 8, I think it would actually suit him less. The reason being is because McAllister's in that midfield for me anyway, to provide a safety net for the players to be able to, you know, we look to Trent goes long, we win or go really direct. If we can go straight to Nunes or straight to Salah with one pass, that's the first pass we're going to play. We're not like City. But if we can't go there, we've got a safety net, and we can give McAllister the ball in any situation, and he can take one touch and pop it off. And I think that's what he's there for. If he plays in the 8, you're expecting him to do what Curtis Jones does, what Gravenberch does, what Szoboszlai does, which is bombing forward, covering the fullback areas, but also transitioning with the ball. And that's not his game. So that's the only position he's ever going to go and play for Liverpool, because Klopp doesn't want to have the type of midfield that we had 4 years ago, where you had one sitter and you had 2 roaming midfielders. He wants something different now. So, yeah, he's just got to get used to it. If it's not him, it's going to be by Cetic, but is it or Thiago? Although he's obviously nowhere to be seen. Is by Cetic a DM by trade? Not really. He played centre back. Is he that type of destroying type of DM? No, he's not. No, when you look at him,
we don't have any.
Exactly,
we don't have any like that.
If he was playing anywhere else, if we had a DM, and it actually happened last season, what happened when Fabinho played in the DM? He played in the 8. In certain games, he's played at right back, because they're not looking at him to go and be this sitting, all that destroying type of midfielder. He is going to be a bit more cultured. And just like McAllister is supposed to be this cultured midfielder. So that's the type of 6 that you're going to get. Andre Trindade is a cultured type of midfielder. Yeah, he might have a bit of bite in and can put a tackle in. So can Thiago. But they're not out and out DMs in the way that, I mean, fans are categorizing some of these players. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with McAllister. I'd prefer to play Jones there, if I'm being honest. To be fair, I know Klopp really likes McAllister in that role, maybe because he takes a bit less risk. And I'd prefer to play Jones in that situation. I know that might take away from Jones's game, but I'd like to play Jones in that position and play Gravenberch high up the field and see how that midfield does. I don't think it will be that big of a risk when we talk about balance, because if you tell a player to be balanced, I think he can be. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But for now, he's our DM.
It'd be interesting to see Gravenberch, Jones, and Dominic Szoboszlai, because all I've seen of Dom and Jones, Dom and Gravenberch hasn't worked. But it'd be interesting to see Jones, because Jones and Szoboszlai do work. So having Gravenberch there might actually be a different dynamic, but I don't think we've seen it, because it's always been Mac. And the thing that worries me about Mac looks cooked in games. He looks tired after like 40, 50 minutes, which is a bit of a worry for me, because is it a fitness thing? Like, is he having to do too much work and he didn't have to do that much work before because of the position he played?
I mean,
or the way
you're probably
Brighton
right.
played?
If you looked at the numbers, he runs more than he has done at Brighton, that he does anywhere. Unfortunately, you have to run in a Klopp system in any position. Even in defence, you've got to run because you're playing a high line. But that's the position in midfield where he has got to run the least. If he goes, if you imagine playing McAllister in the 8 and telling him, yeah, we want you to, or in the 8, whether that's right or left. In pre-season, he played on the right of an 8, right? In training as well. Imagine him being asked to go and do what Szoboszlai has been doing, overlapping Salah, tapping the ball and run and bursting forward. He can't do that. He cannot do that. So you have to then change the way you want to play. And then again, it goes back to Klopp speaking about, not having to rely on one player to do a specific job. If you've got players that can all go and do different jobs, it means that at any given time, if a player's out injured, if there's a player that's suspended, you can go and just plug and play. All right, we still play the same way we want to go and play. It doesn't make a difference. Liverpool before relied on a lot of players to go and play their role. And if they didn't play, it was a problem. You look at Trent. Trent was the system. If Trent didn't play, down that right, we had problems. If Fabinho didn't play, we had problems. If Van Dijk didn't play, we had problems. And of course, these are quality players. But if you can mitigate that by having players that can do a similar role, maybe not to the level of a certain player, but can all do a similar type of role, it means that overall you've got a bit more balance. Imagine you had a DM, or you had, do you know what I mean? Like, instead of a Jones, you had I don't know, like Harvey Elliott's a great example. Imagine having to pick between Szoboszlai and Harvey Elliott. Imagine Szoboszlai being out and saying, yeah, we're going to have to play Harvey Elliott there. It means that the way you play now is completely different because they're different types of players. But Gravenberch, Jones and Szoboszlai are all very similar in terms of the way that they can play. I'm not saying who's better than who. I'm not going to get into that debate. But they're similar. They're both quite tall. They can stride with the ball. They can carry the ball really well. So it means that you've got simultaneous rotation. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it progresses.
It's like this midfield. I said this came back a while ago that, Klopp talks about Liverpool 2.0 and all this sort of stuff. So the midfield at our best, and Liverpool's absolute best, was Henderson, Wijnaldum and Fabinho. That was Liverpool's midfield 3. In my opinion, he's trying to recreate that with now better footballers. But they do the same sort of job. Like, if you look at Szoboszlai, he's box to box on the right-hand side. He's doing a very similar job to Jordan Henderson, but he's just got more quality and he's better at it, so it looks better. Curtis Jones, similar sort of job to Gini does. Ball protector, keeps the ball. He can hold on to the ball, keep it simple, play a nice pass if he needs to, and can get into the box and score a goal here and there, but that's not his main job. It does look like that's what Klopp wants. So, as you say, playing McAllister in an 8 would actually not work for him, because you've got to be defend and attack in this midfield in one go. And that's why he always talks about legs. He needs that around him. Gravenberch is perfect for it. He can do that box-to-box role. So, when we got people like Szoboszlai in, people thinking, we've got a midfielder who can get us 10 to 12 goals a season. Don't know if that's actually the case, because it depends how many opportunities he gets to score goals to be absolutely fine. Because if Trent's inverting, then Szoboszlai needs to make sure no one gets into that right-back area.
Yeah. I think if you look at McAllister as well, he's a type of player in a Klopp system. He will only ever be, for me, look, you could play in the 8, but for me, he'd only ever be really effective in the 6 if you went and played him in a 10 or even as a false 9. Because in that middle of the park, he will get lost because the ball will bypass him a lot. and you mitigate his ability to go and get on the ball, which I think is his best quality. It's not his running. It's not his ability to take on a man. It's not his ability to beat a man. It's not his ability to shoot from distance. It's his ability to go and play with the ball and be quite cute on the ball. So it works well in the first phase from a defensive standpoint where you're trying to break the first press, but it also can work in the final third as well. That's the only positions I ever see him playing for Liverpool. So unless Klopp changes his mind and decides to play a 4-2-3-1 and wants to play him in the 10, or maybe he does what Wenger done with Ozil when Ozil played as a false 9 and you play McAllister as a false 9, then I just don't see him ever playing anywhere else. I don't see him playing in the 8.
The only way I'd see it as well is if we played that box in midfield and we used the two pivots. He'd be fine as the second pivot on the left hand side.
But it is a second
right hand side.
But
pivot.
the problem is, it is a second pivot already. It is a second pivot. Just as you've just done that, it is a second pivot. So, but it's still in a deeper position. He's never going to be the player to break lines with his running, and that's what a number 8 is. A number 8, you set the ball and you break your lines with your running. Every number 8 does that. Every number. Gundogan done it.
It's interesting that he got the number 8 as well. He actually got the number 8. So it was like, okay, we're going to watch him do a number 8, but he's not.
You mean McAllister got number 10, not 8?
Oh, number 10. Sorry, number 10. It was interesting that he got the number 10 and he's not playing anything like that.
It's all a bit. I don't actually mind how they all play as long as it works.
We keep on winning. I'm fine with it.
As long as we keep winning and it works, I'm not actually bothered. And to be fair, I was listening to TalkSport the other day, and like someone on there was saying that it's actually quite a feat that they've managed to completely change their whole midfield in one summer window and still be competing at this moment in time. I do think we've got to give the team a bit. We've got to give the team a lot of credit because I don't know a lot of teams that can completely change their midfield in one window, bring a whole new lot of players in, and getting competing straight away. I mean, look at Chelsea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so we've got to give credit to the coaching staff and Klopp and all that. So if they want to carry on playing like this and it works, I'm not bothered. If I don't see the Szoboszlai that I see for Hungary, that attacking 10, but we win things under Szoboszlai playing this way, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered at all. If Klopp wants to play a system, it works. Go for it.
I do think we'll still see some screamers from Dom.
Yeah, of course you will.
Like the one that cracked in off the bar. Like he will just crack one in. Like so, that's not going to stop. But the thing Jerry said as well, it's really interesting because it's something that we have struggled with for a long time. Not having players that can do the job of a player that's a first teamer, if that makes sense. And we really, really struggled when someone came out of the team. And it does feel, when you watch Man City, you're just like, they just bring someone in and he just carries on jogging, just does exactly the same job. And you're like, how do they do that? Well, that's all to do with the fact that the players they buy and the way they develop them. It feels like that's what we're doing. Feels like that's what we're doing. All our players can do the certain job. Like Quansah can probably play right across the back four, for the way he's been trained and the development that he's got. Gomez can do the same. Trent can play in a number of positions. Dom can play in a number of positions. You know what I mean? It's right across the board. I think it's really good moving forward. And because they're all quite young as well, we got a lot of time with them. Sorry. Seb a bit.
No, you're all right, man. You're all right.
I was picking up Jerry there as well.
Big up, Jerry. Jerry, so the game tomorrow. Me and came out with picking our lineups. I would love Klopp to go with this lineup on the pitch right now, but my worry is that Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, and Mo Salah played a lot of international football in the last 10 days in Egypt, and the two South American boys. Jota hardly played any minutes of Portugal, and Gakpo didn't go at all. Do you think there's a chance that a Jota or a Gakpo plays, or he goes with that strong three?
I think Jota starts ahead of Diaz in this game. personally. I
I
know
think
I know what Diaz offers the team, but I don't think I don't think Liverpool are going to have a lot of the ball in this game.
that's pressing.
So it's about pressing, and not only that, it's about when the ball drops in the net, he needs to be able to go and finish. If it drops in the box, he needs to be able to go finish. If it's a cross, he needs to finish. So I think Jota plays this game. The Núñez one is interesting because last year, in certain games early this season as well, in big games, Núñez didn't start. Games. So it'll be interesting to see if Núñez starts this game, then there's I wouldn't say changing of the guard, but you're seeing Klopp say, all right, okay, cool. I'm trusting this player now.
It's on fire at the moment. You've got to sort of start,
but again, he's on fire. But does Klopp look at scoring goals as something to base off whether a player starts or not? Because Jota was scoring goals and got dropped out. Núñez has scored goals before and got dropped out. It might be the overall game. Could we potentially see Gakpo play in that start there to maybe press onto Rodri? I'm not sure. I think he goes Núñez. I think he goes Núñez, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Gakpo was to come in there and try to sit on Rodri and try to unsettle him, and then bring on a Núñez and bring on a Diaz later on in the game.
Well, I said I wouldn't be surprised if he did something quite alert. Let me put this in, because this is what I said earlier that he might look at doing if he wants to press, because Gakpo will come deep, and you sort of got a diamond, and then you can bring these two in, and you've almost got like a 4-4-2 diamond when you're pressing
and go really narrow. It'll be really interesting. It'll be really interesting, to be fair, because on the one hand, you've got Diaz, who can obviously threaten in behind in that channel, this channel that Walker would be on, but Walker also comes inverted. So when he comes inverted, do you play a Jota there? It's going to be interesting. It's going to depend on how brave we are as a team. I think another issue we're going to have is Tsimikas for me. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Gomez start at left back. I really wouldn't be surprised.
That won't shock me either.
Not saying he will, but I wouldn't be surprised purely because of the fact, from a defensive standpoint, Tsimikas isn't great. And if you've got in those pockets, Bernardo Silva in between McAllister and Jones, you're going to have Walker overlapping. You're going to have Alvarez or Doku, depending on what side he wants to go and play on, playing the other side as well.
Foden floats in there.
Foden floating in those channels as well, and that's the channel they're going to target. Purely not because of course, Van Dijk is there, but if you can isolate Van Dijk and play passes in behind into Matip, into Trent's area, then that will cause more of a problem. So I can see a lot of build up down the right-hand side and try and attack, try score from the left. That's about it. I don't see us. There's nothing else we can really do. I do think he goes with Núñez. I just think Jota starts, and he probably does go with Tsimikas. I'm not comfortable with that at all, especially away at the Etihad, but
it's just with Darwin right now. It's his threatening behind, man. It's just his threatening behind. Even I was listening to LB earlier, the City fan, and he was saying that if Darwin plays, that worries him a bit because City do play that high line as well, and his pace in behind is scary, man. And once he's in behind, you're not catching him.
And Darwin gets chances at City as well, by the way. He gets chances against City.
He would
put them away.
The one thing I would say, I think it does start. I think the one thing I would say, and it doesn't lend well to us, is the performance that City had last time out before the international break against Chelsea away, how that game went. Pep Guardiola's not going to do the same thing twice. And Pep Guardiola is going to look at that game and be like, okay. They dealt with us a bit because they tried to go and break the press, but when they broke the press, they went very, very direct.
I agree.
It's going to be like even sitting here, like if I was Klopp and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, damn, I don't even know what they're going to do because I can't see it, like it would be madness unless Guardiola thinks it was just an off day. It was just an off day, and that's why they were able to go and score 4 goals, and they didn't really target anything special. I can't see Guardiola doing the same thing again. I could easily see Guardiola saying, you know what, we're going to have that 3 sit, and we're going to just be comfortable on the ball, and we're going to be really patient, and we're not going to force the ball in. We're not going to be as direct as we are, so we might not see the Haaland that we usually do, which is try to get the ball to Haaland as quick as possible to go and get a goal, like within our system. It might be very, very patient. Of course, they start Haaland, but it might be a throwback to the City of early last season where Haaland was still acclimatizing and he wasn't getting a lot of the ball because they were playing through the thirds and they weren't being as direct. And Haaland's still threatening in beyond, but threatening in beyond to allow the likes of Bernardo Silva, Foden, Grealish, Doku, whoever, to come inside those pockets. And I think that's where we're going to have problems because Jones, McAllister, and Szoboszlai, depending where they are on the pitch, might not be in the picture. If Trent's inverted, if Trent's gone up forward and Szoboszlai's having to cover, it means there's a man out of position or a couple of players out of position. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, man.
No, I agree with what you're saying now about because of the Chelsea game, the way Chelsea played, the way they pressed and scoring 4 goals against them. I still think Pep feels like Liverpool is still the most dangerous team for him his side to play. So if he plays like that, he could be in for. He'll probably feel like Chelsea did for this Liverpool team and go batter us if I play like. So, yeah, I agree. I like this is why the front. You know, the midfield I think takes care of itself. I think that will be the midfield 3 right there. And there's one player there that people still have an agenda with. This guy here, Curtis Jones. I don't get it personally. I think Curtis Jones has been fantastic since he came to this Liverpool team more on a regular basis. Me and came out to say this about a lot. I think Szoboszlai's best performances for Liverpool this season have come when Curtis Jones plays in midfield.
Can I just caveat that Liverpool's best performances have come when Jones has been in the side?
Yeah,
statistically
He's our
speaking.
best midfielder. He's our best midfielder.
Statistically speaking,
In a Klopp system, just is.
Yeah, he does.
You know what as well? You know what about City as well? Sorry, Chelsea had the game of their lives. Like they played some incredible football in that game, and Man City still almost won it.
Yeah, well, that's how good City are.
It's crazy how good they are. Like, I think it'll be a cagey game. By the way, I don't think it'll be a basketball game like that Chelsea game.
I think the half
Pep won't let that happen.
Yeah, I think the half kickoff have an effect as well in the game.
It'll be quite leggy. It'll be quite laggy. Like players it'll take quite a bit of time to acclimatise. I just hope that we don't have a really poor start where we're still on the coach, because the mentality in going into games away, early kickoffs, has been horrendous by us recently. I just hope we're all up for this one.
But do you know what's mad? Though? If that's the case, then there's nothing. There's nothing you can do if you can't as a team that have recently been rivaling City, right? Like just historically, as a recent history. If you're looking at your fellow players in that Liverpool dressing room and the likes of Virgil, the likes of Jones, the likes of players that have been there aren't relaying to you for the last week about how important this game is, about what this game can mean. And if you can't get up for this game, then you can't get up for any game. And it doesn't matter whether it's a 12 o'clock kickoff, it could be a 3 a.m. kickoff. Let's just be honest. They're going to be up for it, so you need to be up for it. This isn't a game. We're not facing Brentford at 12 where you think you're better than them and you can go into this game, lax. This is a game that, as fans, it's easy to get up for. Put it this way: if I went and said to you, look, I've got tickets for City tomorrow. Do you want to go? Yeah. Any single one of us in this chat are going to jump at that chance. If I said to you, yeah, I've got tickets for Liverpool 12 o'clock, but you're facing MK Dons in the FA Cup 4th round, you'd be like, I might not go to that. Do you know what I mean? I've already planned my day. But if I told you you've got City, you're going to try and move as much as you can to go and watch the game. So you as fans can get up for the game. The players can get up for the game. For the opposing players will get up for the game. If these players on this screen can't get up for this game, then I've just got to question the players. I can't even look at the manager at that point. That's got to come from
No,
within.
exactly.
So
Exactly. I agree with that totally. I mean, Curtis Jones, I think, is a definitely key component to this midfield. The way he get in the wide areas well, the way he can hold on to the ball, protect the ball, he defends well. He's a good player, man. He's a good player, and this is a big game for Dominic Szoboszlai for me because we've seen what he can do for Hungary. I think, out of all the midfielders we got available, and I look at City's midfield right now, I think Szoboszlai could easily play for Man City. Like sit into their midfield, because I'm looking at their midfield at the moment. De Bruyne are out injured. Obviously, Rodri is a world class. Bernardo Silva is world class for me as well. He's a quality player. But then you've got Matheus Nunes and Kovacic. I don't think either of them will play. I'll be shocked. If he goes Alvarez do you think he goes Alvarez in midfield again, guys? Because I think he went for Chelsea, didn't he? Go Alvarez, Bernardo Silva, and
he went
Rodri.
4-4-2. Where he went 4-4-2 really. So he went big man, little man up front.
I don't think he can do that again.
Little man off big man with 4-4. I don't think he does the same thing. I think he looks at Chelsea and Liverpool differently, and I think Pep is someone that always learns. And I know I know someone's mentioned the whole idea of obviously Pep overthinking. This wouldn't be Pep overthinking, but this would just be, okay, I'm not going to do the same thing. I'm going to go and play Grealish, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, and Foden in that midfield. I'm going to
I think he does play. I had a City fan talking about this earlier because they think Foden will play on the left, or on the right wing, which I think he might.
Yeah.
And they're on playing. They think they might play Lewis and Rodri in that defensive midfield, and then
I was going to say Lewis
and Bernardo in front.
I was going to say Lewis. Bernardo has played DM though for them. Like he has played. I mean, he plays everywhere, doesn't he? He's
world class quality, man.
He's a world class ass as well. But yeah, we need to get under his skin as well because
I don't think Kovacic
will
play. I don't think Kovacic has got the legs for this game.
Oh, he does. He's injured, but he definitely. If I would worry if they went Kovacic, I would worry because he's another player that you just especially in that system, you won't be able to get near him. Like I would want them to go and play Alvarez. I would want them to go and play even Nunes in that game. And the reason being,
I'd be shocked if he.
No, because they're more likely players that are going to want to get on the ball and take a couple more touches with the ball. Kovacic will just go and play 2-touch, and even when Kovacic takes more touches, you can't get near him. We've seen it when he's played for Chelsea against us.
I agree with that.
Revan H just put in the chat as well. Kovacic always plays well against us.
He does, but
he always plays well
Chelsea.
against us.
I don't know. When I mean he hasn't got the legs, I don't know if he's got the legs for this City team. That's what I mean by it.
But that's what I need. That's what I mean. The team don't need the legs like that. Hence why he can still press really well. They press as a team, but on the ball would be a problem. If they were fit, if they had everyone fit, I know De Bruyne was there and Kovacic is available. I'd be very worried if they went with a midfield of Rodri, Kovacic, and Bernardo Silva.
Oh, I agree. I think this is our best time to beat them at their ground that we've had for a long time.
Yeah,
I honestly do. I don't think City are as good as at the back that people think they are either. I think they can be got at. There's a geezer playing left back for Man City right now. He's just not cutting it at all, and for some reason, getting away with it. Came with a big transfer fee. You got Diaz at the back, who, for me, for a centre back that everyone talks about and bigs up as one of the best centre backs in the world, he half goes to ground a lot.
Shout out to Scorcher on this one. I've done some work with him. He's just a good professional. He's a really good professional. Is he that good? Is he is he in Scorcher? Is he top 10 centre backs of all time in the Premier League? No, I wouldn't put him there. But he's a very good professional. He's a good captain. He's a good captain.
Yeah. I like him as a player. I just don't get the hype over him. When I watch him play, I just see him fall. I see him go to ground a lot. He goes
I
to
like.
ground a lot.
I know he's really good, really responsible, does what he needs to do. Like he's as a defender, it's probably what you want in a team. But I think I prefer Stones. I like Stones.
Yeah, I
a
think
bit
John
more.
Stones is quality. I think he's their best defender by a country mile.
Yeah.
I
They
think
play-
Ake is good. I think Akanji's good. But if they're playing, I'm more happy. I ain't
They
like
are
John Stones
really,
is playing,
really
I'd be worried.
dangerous with Stones in the
Yeah,
team,
John-
by the way, Man
yeah.
City, because he comes into midfield and solidifies their midfield with Rodri, and they are
Yeah,
just
he
unbreakable with him in.
He inverts the best out of everyone who plays that
He
inverted
gets
role.
loads of chances from corners as well, Stones.
John Stones, good player, man. Quality player. You know, he's what Pep's done with him is tremendous. You know, coached him
Who'd have thought,
beautifully.
from Everton?
With no,
He was a ball at Everton. Oh my god! Growing up, listen, I was at Stones is that guy.
Didn't he come from like Chesterfield or somewhere like that as well before Everton? Came from like
Barnsley.
second division, didn't he?
He went Barnsley, Everton, Man City. That's been his career. Big up
Barnsley.
Rescue, the super
Wow,
chat. Thank you very much, my friend. Diaz has been poor recently. He has, man. He has.
he has.
I think we can get at them, and because we can get at them, I think you've got to play that. You've got to play that midfield for me. That front three. Yeah, that front. And I've been saying for a while, I like Luis Diaz. I know I've had my things with Luis Diaz. Everyone thinks I hate him. I don't hate Luis Diaz. I just feel like Jota, Darwin, and Mo Salah are my gunmen, and they go bad goals when them free play. I also think Diogo Jota's best off the left and not in that number 9 position. I don't like Jota through the middle. I really don't. I like him on the left personally. That's just my opinion. Be up, Jamie. No, we're talking about Diaz, Jamie. We're talking about Diaz, the City defender, not Virgil.
No, not Virgil.
Not Virgil. We're talking about Diaz.
I agree. I agree with Jota as well. I think he runs into blind alleys when he's in the centre.
Yeah, gets blocked out. He's better at coming off the left into a central position. You know, them runs he makes from the left-hand side coming into a central division position because he ghosts into them positions. Centre-backs can't pick him up. When he starts in the centre, he's easier for centre-backs to pick up. But from the left, coming in, he ghosts into them positions and he's beautiful there. Absolutely beautiful.
He could get at what's his name? Guardiola. He could get at Guardiola. Like if he does those runs.
Well, Mo definitely can. There's no doubt about that.
The pair of them could get at him.
So what Ravi asks a question here. Big up Ravi, how you doing, man? Question: how do we create chances versus Manchester City, K-Mac?
It's counter press. It's got to be the counter press. If you can get the ball off them in midfield, you can break on them quite high up. And also, you know, if we're going to start just like throwing crosses in, we're not going to get anywhere there because they'll just head them away all day long. They've got loads of monsters at the back, tall players. If we could stop Rodri, that's the key to getting anything out of Man City. Stopping Rodri, he controls so much. It's the transition from their centre backs into Rodri, into their midfield and down the wings, which is just, they're devastating on it. And they do it over and over again. The patterns just get repeated over and over again. And then eventually they find Haaland or one of their midfielders cuts in and scores or creates a chance or gets a foul. And they scored a lot of goals from set pieces as well. But you can get at them. We can definitely get at them if we break on their midfield, make them make mistakes.
I conceded 13 goals this season. It shows that you can get them. It's
You
just
can.
that the thing about Man City, you've got to be brave because that's the reason a lot of teams, you know, all teams will probably feel they can get a chance against Man City, but it's being brave doing it because you can get annihilated seconds later the other way. So that's why a lot of teams sit back and soak it up and play counter-attack, where Chelsea were like, nah, stuff it, let's just press and what we've got to lose here. You know, and it shows if you're brave, you can get opportunities. Chelsea are very brave in that game. They scored 4 goals. They also conceded 4 at the same time. So, you know, that's the issue when you play Manchester City. Is that you can get them. Yes, you can get them. You've got to be brave, though, man. You got to have balls on you. You got to have brass ball. You got to be brave. And the thing is, when Liverpool are at their best, they're at their bravest as well. That's when Liverpool are at their best. They're at their bravest.
High risk, high reward, isn't it?
Yeah, they cause
That would play.
trouble. It's going to be interesting. I personally think the start of the game's going to be a bit. I think we're going to be biting our nails for the first 15 minutes because I think City are just going to come at us from kickoff. I think City are just going to come at us from kickoff. You know, with intention to destroy in that first 10, 15 minutes. And we might have to hold on for that first 10, 15 minutes, see ourselves into the game, and then start playing from there. Because I don't think City can afford to let Liverpool control the tempo in the early beginnings of the game, especially if we do play a front three of Diaz, Darwin, and Salah, because they'd be very wary of conceding. So I think they're going to try and kill our motivation, kill our whatever thoughts we had of winning this game in the first 15 minutes of this match. So I think Liverpool really got to stay tight, sit back, hold on, play ourselves into the game. And if it's 0-0 after 15 minutes, if it's 0-0 after 15, 20 minutes, I think Liverpool will feel like, right, we're in the game now. Let's play. Let's do our thing. What do you reckon, K-Mac?
Yeah, I agree. I think as well they'll be in beast mode as well because they'll want to make up for what happened to Chelsea. It'd be interesting with the fitness as well of some of their players because they did have a few injuries. They've obviously got players coming back, so we don't know how fit they are. So it'd be interesting if there's any like players that have just come back from injury. If we can kind of get at them, force them to make a mistake. Maybe push them a bit further. Maybe I do think there might be a red card in this game as well. We've got a habit of it getting a bit feisty in these games, which is great. I just hope we take advantage. There's so many times we haven't taken advantage when we really had a chance. Luton was one, for example. This game, we take advantage. We take 3 points off them. We jump ahead of them. It's really important. We've got a couple of other low block teams coming up after this. So, this is our time. All our players are on form as well, like international form. Like take that into the City game. Express yourself. Be brave.
Yeah, big up Tom, by the way. How you doing well, man? It's been a while. How you doing well? Look, we've got to have some understanding here as well. This is at the Etihad. City, I think City and Liverpool probably the 2 strongest teams at home in England. In English football, they're probably the 2 strongest teams at home, where no one really wants to go and play at them grounds at this moment in time. And the Etihad, look, I don't think it matters how good you are as a team. You saw that from Real Madrid last season. There's something about this City team at home. It's going to be difficult. I don't think we can forget that. It's going to be a really difficult, hard game. That's why I said the first 15 minutes, if it's 0-0 after 15 minutes, Liverpool will feel like they're in the game and they can start playing from there. It's going to be hard, man. It's going to be difficult no matter who you are. No matter who you are. But I do think there's something about this Liverpool team at the moment that can cause this City team a lot of issues. I really do. I think Darwin Núñez, at this moment in time, he has to play. I know the chances he misses and all that, but my God, he will create something for himself in this game. He won't be quiet. He'll be busy. He'll be trying to get on the end of things. Salah will be looking for him. He'll be looking for Salah. He now knows Trent's got that pass to him now that he's done the last few games where he gets on his bike and receives that ball. He will be a threat. There's no doubt about it. Jota, if he plays, always a threat, can come up with a goal out of nothing. And then Salah, he always scores against City. It's going to be a difficult game. It's going to be an extremely difficult game. But one game I'm actually looking forward to in a weird way. I'm not nervous for. I actually feel like I feel like City are still the best team in England and Europe. I'm not saying they're not, but I still don't think they're the City team. I don't think they're as good as they were last season or the year before. I think they got missing quite a few. You know, there's no Mahrez for this game. There's no Gundogan for this game. There's no Kevin De Bruyne for this game. And then 3 players alone. Do you know how much they murder us continuously?
They do miss Gundogan, by the way.
They're
They
not.
do
No
miss him.
Gundogan, no Kevin De Bruyne, no Mahrez. That's. You know, I think Liverpool got a chance, man. Yeah, I think Liverpool got a chance. And the thing is, as well, like if Liverpool win, Liverpool go top of the league. Liverpool will be top of the league at the end of the weekend, no matter what happens, unless Arsenal go and spank Brentford like 5 or 6-0 or something. Liverpool will be top of the league at the end of the weekend. That is something they got to think about as well, and it completely changes our season. Because if Liverpool somehow go and beat Man City and at top of the league by the weekend, I think Liverpool will start thinking that they can win the Premier League this season. In my opinion,
Last season we didn't go top of the league once, did we?
No, we were barely in the top 4 last season.
It really is a mentality thing as well. Once you end up getting top, it is ingrained in a team to stay there. Like, it'd be interesting to see whether we've actually fell out of the top much once we've been in there. I'd have to look into that. And also, I see a lot of people like saying that, we don't get anything against Man City, blah, 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 blah. We haven't played that well at all this season, and we've still won loads of games. We are due a really good performance by everybody. And we do have a lot of players in form who have taken their form into their internationals and played amazing. So it is definitely in our rights to, knit all that together and come back and go, right, guys, this is the game. Like, this puts us at the top of the table with games where we can win all of those games if we play well. So, we have to look up. We have to look up. And I don't think Klopp needs to do much of a team talk for this one either.
No, I mean, it's City, it's the biggest team in Europe. If you can't get yourself up for this one, then what can you do yourself up for? I mean, all Liverpool's hardest games this season have come away from home as well. All come away from home. So Liverpool will be sitting there thinking, if we can get something out of this City game, even a draw, even if we get a draw, which I'd take, by the way, if you offered me 1-1 now, I'm taking it, easy. You get a draw out of this game, Liverpool will look at it and think, right, playing a lot of these hard teams away from home now. We're not, the only team we lost to was Tottenham, and that was because we got screwed by the VAR officials. It weren't actually Tottenham themselves. We bring everyone back to our place. You gotta feel like you're in a race, in my opinion. So it's very important for Liverpool to get something out of this game and not get beaten, in my opinion. I don't know if Jerry's still there. Jerry, you about, man? We'll go through the score predictions. K-Matt, what do you think, man?
3-2 to us. I think there'll be a few goals.
Yeah,
there's
been a lot of 3-2s running around on the internet. I've been seeing that a lot of scores have been 3-2s. I think there'll be goals in this game. I'm going for 2-2. I think it'd be a Desmond. I'm going for a.
I also think Virgil score as well, by the way. I put money on that.
Virgil goal. You got money on a Virgil goal over. John's going forward to Darwin Hattie, If that happens, John, when we talk on the match review.
I'll tell you what, Revenant, if that happens, then Darwin will score 30 goals this season. Because he'll just go on a mad run of scoring.
Big up, Ravi. Good question here. Who's Liverpool super subs? So our bench will probably be Diaz, Gakpo, Harvey Elliott, Gravenberch. It's a pretty decent bench, ain't it? The bench will look far better. That is why I'm wondering if Liverpool. This is another thing as well. this is what's got me wondering if Klopp looks at having Darwin on the bench to bring him on for 20 minutes against tired City legs, like he did against Newcastle. Every international game, on the game back after internationals, Darwin has never started. I'm just wondering if he's thinking, I'm going to go Jota through the middle. I'm going to go Diaz on the left, Salah on the right. Okay, use Jota in that deep position to come, to sit on Rodri. And then after 60 minutes, I'm going to bring Darwin on with his pace and energy and enthusiasm for the last half hour of a game against tired legs.
Yeah, then he misses the bloody chance to win the game because he didn't start.
Well, he seems to be better when he comes off the bench to score chances, don't he? That's that. I can't wait till tomorrow. I really can't. I'm so pumped for this game. It's just look, we've got club football all the way till March now, guys. No internationals now till March. We're good to go. This is great. This is what we want.
Someone wrote, isn't it better to be negative and then be positively surprised?
Yeah, it could be. It depends how you see life.
I like that.
1-1, but I would love us to get a win. I mean, I'll take a 1-1 draw as well. To be fair, Philip, I'll take a 1-1 draw. Yeah, I'll take a 1-1 draw. Big up Colin in the house. Hope you're doing well. Right, guys, we're going to leave that there. Big up to Jerry for coming in. Thank you very much. Big up the K-Mac for coming in as well. Guys, make sure you go and check out these guys' channels. Go and subscribe to these beautiful guys. Thank you very much. I'd appreciate it. Big up Crypto in the house. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, Angel, about all the South American players. That's why it's going to be interesting to see the lineup. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about Harvey Elliott. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
but guys,
played quite a bit as well.
Big up Frankie baby in the chat as well. Big up Frank, hope you're doing well. But guys, that's it from us. Don't forget, go and subscribe to Jerry. Go and subscribe to K-Mac's channel. Go and show the love over there to the Liverpool community. Guys, I'll be back Saturday evening with the match reaction video. So make sure you join me Saturday evening. Make sure you go and join the other boys as well and everyone around the Liverpool community on all their channels through today and tomorrow. Show your love, guys. Thank you very much for joining. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.